Chosen ones, what I'm about to reveal may amaze you, even leave you stunned. If you're here watching this right now, it's no coincidence. You've been guided here by divine forces because a powerful shift is unfolding in your life. You've pulled off what can only be described as a James Bond escape. That's right. What once overwhelmed and haunted you is now bending to your will. This isn't just a change in thinking. It's a profound spiritual and energetic awakening. As a chosen one, you're about to witness your power expand in ways you never imagined. But to harness it fully, you need to understand the process. Before we dive into this transformative message, I want you to pause for a moment and do 3 things. Hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and leave a comment with the number 77. This number carries a unique spiritual vibration that will amplify the energy of this video and your journey. And remember, if you are truly one of the chosen, you will feel compelled to stay until the very end because your spirit already knows this message is meant for you. Those who aren't ready may not make it through, but for those who do, this could change your life forever. Let's begin. The first sign is the disruptive presence of the chosen ones. It's not something you necessarily chose for yourself, yet it defines you in ways you may not fully understand until now. Chosen ones, your very existence challenges the status quo, often in ways that are subtle yet profound. When you walk into a room, it isn't just you entering. It's the light, the truth, and a divine frequency that stirs the environment. Without saying a word, your presence brings an unspoken tension to systems, people, and structures that thrive on fear, deceit, and corruption. This is because what you carry is disruptive to anything that doesn't align with truth and authenticity. Have you ever wondered why certain people seem agitated or uneasy around you, even when you've done nothing to provoke them? It's because your light reveals their darkness. Like a beam of light shining into a hidden corner, your presence exposes what others try to conceal. This isn't about judgment. It's about the divine energy within you operating as a mirror. Those living in alignment with truth may find comfort and inspiration in your presence, while those who hide behind masks and lies often find themselves unsettled. Think about how this manifests in your life. Perhaps you've been in workplaces where you unintentionally revealed unethical practices, or in social circles where hypocrisy and deceit were suddenly laid bare. You may not have set out to expose anything, yet things began to unravel simply because you were there. It's as if the energy of truth within you acts as a catalyst, forcing what's hidden to come to the surface. This can feel isolating at times, even frustrating, because it places you in situations where you must stand firm in the face of opposition. This disruptive quality isn't something you need to activate. It's intrinsic to who you are as one of the chosen. Ephesians 5 verse 11 captures this beautifully. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. This isn't merely a command. It's a reflection of the spiritual reality of your life. You are a living reproof to darkness, not because of anything you say or do intentionally, but because of the divine light you carry. This calling, however, is not without challenges. Being a disruptor often means facing resistance. The systems and people that thrive in darkness don't go down without a fight. You may have experienced moments when others try to discredit you, gossip about you, or isolate you. This isn't because you're doing something wrong. It's because they feel threatened by what you represent. It's not you they oppose. It's the light within you that they cannot control or extinguish. This resistance can be exhausting, leading you to question whether the battle is worth it. But remember, chosen ones, this isn't just about you. It's about a greater purpose unfolding through you. Your disruptive presence serves as a reminder that truth is not passive. Truth, like light, does not negotiate with darkness. It overcomes it. When you feel the weight of this responsibility, consider the words of John 1 verse 5, "And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not." Darkness cannot overpower light. And though the battle may feel intense, the outcome is already determined. Let's take this deeper into your daily life. Have you noticed how your relationships shift as you grow spiritually? Perhaps people you were once close to seem distant or uncomfortable. This can be painful, but it's also a sign that your light is doing its work. Sometimes, people aren't ready to face the truth you bring, and that's okay. Your role isn't to force them into the light, but to remain steadfast, trusting that your presence alone plants seeds of change. Consider the story of Daniel in the lion's den. Daniel's unwavering commitment to truth and his refusal to compromise exposed the corruption and fear within the leaders of his time. They conspired against him, thinking they could silence his influence. Yet God used Daniel's faithfulness to bring justice and transformation. Like Daniel, your life may invite opposition, but it also invites divine intervention. What seems like a challenge is often an opportunity for God to reveal his power through you. In moments of doubt, reflect on how your presence has already made a difference. Maybe you've inspired someone to make a positive change, even if they didn't acknowledge it directly. Or perhaps you've been the reason a corrupt system began to collapse, even if you never saw the full outcome. These moments are reminders that your disruptive presence is not in vain. It's part of a divine strategy to bring light into the darkest corners of the world. This isn't just about individual victories. It's about your role in a greater cosmic purpose. You are part of a spiritual awakening that is shifting the balance of power from fear and deceit to truth and love. Your presence is a ripple in a vast ocean of change, and while the impact may not always be visible immediately, it is undeniable. Each time you stand firm in your authenticity, you contribute to a larger movement of transformation. As you continue on this journey, embrace the truth of who you are. Yes, your light may disrupt, but it also heals. It breaks chains, dismantles illusions, and paves the way for something greater. When the weight of this calling feels heavy, remember that you are not alone. The same divine power that placed this light within you sustains you through every challenge. You are equipped for this mission, and now, chosen ones, as we move forward, prepare to see how this light not only disrupts but overcomes. The next sign will reveal why the power within you cannot be extinguished, no matter how fierce the opposition. Stay with me, because what comes next will deepen your understanding and strengthen your resolve. The second sign is the power of light over darkness. This truth is profound, unshakable, and as ancient as creation itself. Light does not debate with darkness. It overtakes it. It doesn't hesitate, bargain, or fear. It simply is. As a chosen one, you embody this divine truth in ways that are both humbling and empowering. You've likely felt it. Moments when you walk through situations meant to destroy you, only to emerge untouched, stronger, and more radiant than before. This is no accident. It is the power of the light within you, a force that cannot be extinguished by the schemes or lies of the enemy. Imagine walking into a dark room and flipping on a switch. The darkness doesn't resist or push back. It vanishes. The same happens when the light of God's truth and presence operates in your life. Lies dissolve, fear retreats, and confusion clears. Yet this doesn't mean the journey is without challenges. Sometimes, the enemy's tactics can feel overwhelming, but the reality is that their power is an illusion. Darkness only thrives in the absence of light. The moment light appears, darkness loses its hold. John 1 verse 5 encapsulates this eternal principle. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. This verse is more than a statement. It's a spiritual reality woven into the fabric of existence. As a chosen one, you're walking proof of this. Have you ever faced lies designed to ruin you, yet somehow the schemes unravel before they could cause harm? Or perhaps someone tried to slander you, only for the truth to emerge in a way that left no doubt about your integrity. These moments are not coincidences. They are evidence of the unstoppable power of light working in your life. The power of light over darkness doesn't just operate on a grand, spiritual scale. It permeates the everyday moments of your life. Think about the relationships you've navigated, the difficult decisions you've made, or the challenges you've overcome. Each of these instances reveals how light transforms and triumphs. Maybe you've experienced moments where confusion and fear clouded your mind, and then suddenly, clarity emerged, as if someone lit a candle in the middle of a storm. That clarity was not your doing. It was the light of divine guidance cutting through the chaos. This power is not passive. It's an active, living force that requires your alignment and trust. There will be times when darkness tries to intimidate you, casting shadows that seem overwhelming. In these moments, it's essential to remember that the darkness is powerless against the light within you. It can threaten, but it cannot prevail. As Isaiah 60 verse 1 declares, "Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee." This is your reality as a chosen one. The glory of God has risen upon you, and no force of darkness can extinguish it. However, walking in this light isn't always easy. The world often resists the light because it exposes what is hidden. You may find yourself misunderstood, criticized, or even ostracized because your very presence disrupts the comfort of darkness. It can feel isolating at times, as though the weight of carrying this light is too much. But remember, you are not carrying it alone. The source of your light is divine, unending, and all-powerful. You are a vessel, not the origin, and because of this, you can never be overcome. Consider how Jesus described this truth in Matthew 5 verses 14 to 16. "Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on an hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works, and glorify your Father which is in heaven." This is both an invitation and a responsibility. As a chosen one, your light is not meant to be hidden, nor can it be. It is designed to shine, to illuminate, and to transform. Let's bring this closer to home. Have you noticed how certain people are drawn to you, seeking wisdom, comfort, or understanding, even when you feel you have nothing to offer? That's your light in action, reaching others without effort or intent. On the other hand, have you experienced people withdrawing or reacting negatively to you for reasons you can't explain? That, too, is your light. It confronts darkness in others, stirring something they may not be ready to face. Neither response is about you personally. It's about the light you carry and what it represents. Your journey as a chosen one is marked by moments when the power of light over darkness becomes undeniable. Perhaps you faced betrayal, only to watch as the truth came to light in a way that no one could deny. Or maybe you've stepped into a situation filled with chaos, and your presence alone brought peace and order. These aren't isolated events. They are the natural outcome of living in alignment with the light of God. The power of light over darkness also transforms you from the inside out. Each challenge you face refines you, making your light brighter and more resilient. Trials that once seemed insurmountable now serve as opportunities to grow in faith and strength. This is why James 1 verses 2 to 4 encourages us to count it all joy when you fall into divers temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. Your trials are not setbacks. They are stepping stones toward becoming the radiant being you were created to be. This transformation isn't just for you. It's for the world around you. Your light is part of a larger plan to bring healing, justice, and truth to a world in desperate need. It's easy to feel small or insignificant in the face of global challenges, but remember, even a single candle can illuminate a vast darkness. Your light matters. It is unique, irreplaceable, and essential to the divine plan. As you move forward, embrace the power of the light within you. Let it shine boldly, knowing that it cannot be overcome. When you face opposition, remember that it is not your strength but God's power working through you that makes victory inevitable. And when the darkness tries to whisper lies of defeat, let the truth of John 1 verse 5 echo in your spirit. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Now, chosen ones, prepare your hearts for what's next. If this sign reveals the invincibility of your light, The next will unveil how the very forces that oppose you ultimately fuel your transformation. We're just getting started. Chosen ones. The next two signs will bring even more clarity to your purpose and why your life feels like a thrilling, high-stakes mission. Make sure you've activated all notifications so you don't miss a single revelation. The third sign is the desperation of the corrupt. If you felt like the world, or certain people or systems within it, seems to be conspiring against you, let me assure you, this is not your imagination. It's not paranoia. It's proof of your purpose. Those forces working overtime to suppress you are doing so because they see something in you that threatens their existence. Their attempts to hold you back are rooted in fear, a desperate recognition that their time is running out. They know that the light you carry is dismantling their illusions, exposing their corruption, and rendering their schemes powerless. As you navigate the season of opposition, it's essential to understand what's really happening. The enemy only targets those who pose a threat to his agenda. Think about that for a moment. If you were insignificant, if your life lacked divine purpose, there would be no need for resistance. The very fact that you face opposition is evidence of your importance in the spiritual battle between light and darkness. The corrupt know they cannot ultimately win, but in their desperation, they lash out in a last-ditch effort to maintain control. This isn't a new phenomenon. Throughout history, we see examples of corruption desperately clinging to power in the face of divine truth. Consider the story of Pharaoh in the book of Exodus. As Moses, under God's command, demanded the release of the Israelites, Pharaoh's heart hardened. He resisted, despite witnessing plague after plague, each one revealing the futility of his power. Pharaoh's stubbornness was not a display of strength, but a reflection of his fear. Fear of losing control. Fear of the truth Moses represented, and ultimately, fear of God's judgment. The same dynamic plays out in your life when corrupt forces resist your calling. This desperation manifests in many ways. It might look like people spreading lies about you, attempting to discredit your character. It could be systemic injustices designed to oppress and limit you. It might even show up as unexpected obstacles that seem specifically tailored to discourage you. But here's the truth. Their very desperation is a sign of their weakness. The harder they try to suppress you, the more they expose their fear and their inability to stop what God has ordained. Isaiah 54 verse 17 speaks directly to this. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. Notice that the verse doesn't say weapons won't form. It says they won't prosper. This is a powerful reminder that while opposition is inevitable, victory is guaranteed. The weapons formed against you, whether they are lies, betrayals, or structural barriers, are ultimately powerless to derail God's plan for your life. They may cause temporary discomfort, but they cannot stop the light within you from fulfilling its purpose. In your daily life, this might look like moments when the schemes against you seem overwhelming. Maybe you've had a coworker undermine you, or someone close to you has betrayed your trust. Perhaps you face systemic challenges that seem insurmountable. In these moments, it's easy to feel disheartened, even angry. But take heart. What you're witnessing is the unraveling of their power, like a dam breaking under pressure. The corrupt systems and people opposing you are crumbling under the weight of their own desperation. Think about this in the context of spiritual growth. Every act of opposition forces you to strengthen your resolve, deepen your faith, and refine your purpose. Just as pressure turns coal into diamonds, the challenges you face are shaping you into an unstoppable force for truth and light. This is why James 1 verses 2 to 4 encourages us to count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. Your trials are not setbacks. They are setups for your growth and ultimate victory. Consider how this plays out on a larger scale. When corrupt systems resist the light, their desperation often accelerates their downfall. Think about historical movements for justice and truth. The more oppressive regimes or corrupt leaders tried to silence the voices of change, the louder those voices became. Martin Luther King Jr. famously said, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. This bending doesn't happen without resistance, but resistance is part of the process. It sharpens the movement and exposes the fragility of the corrupt. In your own life, this principle holds true. The more the enemy tries to block your path, the more obvious it becomes that your calling is significant. The opposition you face is not a sign of failure. It's confirmation of your impact. When the corrupt scramble to hold on to power, they inadvertently highlight the inevitability of their defeat. Their desperation accelerates their exposure and downfall, clearing the way for truth and justice to prevail. Yet, this process isn't easy. It can feel isolating to be targeted, especially when the opposition feels relentless. You may question why God allows these challenges to arise. But remember, God doesn't just promise to protect you. He promises to use everything for your good. Romans 8 verse 28 assures us, "And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose." Even the actions of your enemies serve a greater purpose, refining you and advancing God's kingdom. As you reflect on this, consider the story of Joseph in Genesis. His brothers, driven by jealousy and fear, sold him into slavery. Their actions were rooted in desperation to suppress Joseph's dreams and the favor of God on his life. Yet every attempt to destroy Joseph only positioned him closer to his destiny. What his brothers meant for evil, God used for good. Joseph's trials prepared him to save not only his family, but an entire nation. In the same way, the desperation of those who oppose you is part of a larger plan to elevate you and fulfill your purpose. Your journey as a chosen one is not without its trials, but it is marked by victory. The desperation of the corrupt is not a sign of their power. It's a sign of their impending fall. Each scheme against you becomes another stepping stone toward your destiny. Each attack only amplifies the light within you, making you more resilient, more focused, and more aligned with your divine purpose. As you move forward, hold on to this truth. No matter how fierce the opposition, it cannot prevail. The weapons formed against you will not prosper. The corrupt may scramble, plot, and resist, but their desperation only hastens their defeat. Your role is to stand firm, knowing that the God who called you is faithful to protect and vindicate you. Now, prepare your heart for what's next. If this sign has shown you the futility of the enemy's schemes, the next will reveal the transformative power of every trial you faced. The fourth sign is resilience and transformation. Chosen ones, if you've ever wondered why your journey has been marked by trials and challenges, let this truth settle deeply in your spirit. Those trials were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to transform you. Every obstacle, every moment of pain, and every season of doubt has served a greater purpose, to refine you into the person God has called you to be, just as raw or is refined by fire to reveal pure gold. The pressures in your life have stripped away what was unnecessary and revealed the strength and brilliance of your true self. In many ways, you are like James Bond in every mission. The stakes are high, the challenge is relentless, but each step of the journey hones your skills, sharpens your focus, and strengthens your resolve. What once felt like chaos now begins to make sense, as you realize that every twist and turn was part of a divine plan to equip you for something far greater than yourself. Each difficulty has been an invitation to grow, not just stronger, but more aligned with your purpose. James 1 verses 2-4 speaks directly to this process. My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into divers temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. This passage isn't just an encouragement. It's a blueprint for understanding the transformative power of trials. The patience developed through your challenges is not passive. It's active, building endurance and preparing you for the mission ahead. It's as if every trial is a training ground, molding you into a vessel capable of carrying the weight of your divine calling. Transformation often begins in the crucible of adversity. Perhaps you've experienced seasons where everything seemed to fall apart. Relationships ended, careers shifted, or health struggles emerged. In those moments, it's natural to feel overwhelmed, even abandoned. But consider this. What if those very moments were the catalyst for your greatest growth? Just as a seed must break apart to sprout, you, too, must sometimes endure breaking to experience new life. The breaking isn't a punishment, it's preparation. Look at the story of Joseph in Genesis. His journey was marked by betrayal, false accusations, and imprisonment. To the untrained eye, it might have seemed as though God had forgotten him, but every step of Joseph's journey, no matter how painful, was preparing him for his ultimate purpose. By the time he reached his destiny as a ruler in Egypt, Joseph had developed the resilience, wisdom, and humility needed to fulfill his calling. He later said to his brothers, "But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive." Genesis 50 verse 20. Like Joseph, your trials are not random. They are part of a divine strategy to transform you and position you for impact. In your own life, resilience looks like the ability to stand firm when everything around you is shaking. It's the courage to keep going when others would give up. Transformation, on the other hand, is the inner work that happens along the way. It's the shift in perspective that allows you to see challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. It's the deepening of your faith and the refining of your character, shaping you into someone who not only survives but thrives. Have you ever noticed how, after a particularly difficult season, you emerge with a new strength or clarity? That's transformation in action. Maybe you've developed greater compassion for others, a stronger sense of purpose, or a deeper trust in God. These are not accidents. They are the fruits of resilience. Every tear, every prayer, and every moment of perseverance has contributed to the masterpiece God is creating in you. Transformation is also about stepping into your identity as a chosen one. You are not the same person you were when your journey began, and that's a good thing. The old version of you might have been weighed down by doubt, fear, or insecurity, but through the refining fire, those chains have been broken. What remains is a version of you that is freer, stronger, and more aligned with your divine purpose. This process can feel isolating at times. You may find that not everyone understands your journey, and that's okay. Transformation often requires leaving behind what no longer serves you, whether it's toxic relationships, limiting beliefs, or old habits, like the caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. There's a period of separation, a time when the outside world may not fully grasp what's happening within you. But when the transformation is complete, it becomes impossible to ignore. Your life becomes a testament to the power of God's work in you. Think about the resilience of the early apostles. They faced persecution, imprisonment, and even death, yet their faith only grew stronger. Their resilience was not rooted in their own strength, but in their unwavering trust in God. Paul, writing from prison, declared, "I can do all things through Christ which strengtheneth me." Philippians 4 verse 13. This is the heart of resilience and transformation. It's not about avoiding trials, but about emerging from them stronger, with a deeper understanding of God's purpose for your life. In the context of your daily life, resilience and transformation might look like finding the strength to forgive when forgiveness feels impossible. It might mean choosing to trust God's timing when doors seem to remain closed. It could be as simple as showing up each day, despite the weight of your challenges, knowing that each step is part of a greater journey. These seemingly small acts of faith are evidence of the transformation taking place within you. Your transformation is not just for your benefit. It's for the world around you. As you grow stronger, you become a source of light and hope for others. Your story becomes a testament to what is possible when you trust in God's plan. You inspire others to persevere through their own trials, showing them that resilience is not just about surviving. It's about thriving and becoming all that God has called them to be. As you reflect on your journey, remember that every challenge has been part of your preparation. You are not defined by your trials. You are defined by how you rise from them. Each obstacle has been a stepping stone, Each setback a setup for a comeback. The fire you've walked through has not consumed you, it has refined you. And now, chosen ones, we arrive at the most critical sign, the ultimate test that sets you apart as a true agent of divine purpose. Stay with me. This one will hit deep. The final sign is the call to accountability and action. This is where all the preparation, transformation, and refinement come to a head. Being chosen is not just about recognition or favor. It's about stepping into responsibility. To be chosen means to carry a mantle that demands action, courage, and unwavering commitment to truth. You've been set apart, not for passivity, but for purpose. The call is clear: to rise, to stand, and to engage in the battle between light and darkness. Neutrality is not an option. Silence is not an excuse. You have been chosen, not simply to witness, but to lead. This is not an easy calling, and it's not one to take lightly. The weight of it can feel overwhelming at times, and doubt may whisper that you're not enough. But those whispers are lies. Every trial you've faced, every tear you've shed, and every moment you've endured has been preparing you for this moment. The question is no longer whether you are ready. The question is whether you will respond. Romans 12 verse 21 reminds us, "Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good." This isn't a passive encouragement. It's a command rooted in divine power. The evil in the world can only be confronted by those willing to act boldly in alignment with God's truth. As you consider this call, ask yourself, what is holding me back? Is it fear, doubt, a sense of inadequacy? Whatever it is, bring it before God. Let Him remind you of who you are and whose you are. Let Him fill you with the courage and strength to move forward. The choice is yours, but chosen ones, you were born for this. The very fact that you've made it this far is proof that you are capable of stepping into your purpose. What's next for you is nothing short of extraordinary, but it requires courage. Watch the next video linked in the description below, where we'll uncover the steps to walk boldly in your destiny. Chosen ones, this is your time. You've already made the escape. Now it's time to live in victory. Remember, your light cannot be dimmed and your mission cannot fail. If this video resonated with you, hit the like button, share this message with someone who needs it, and comment "I'm chosen." Subscribe and activate notifications so you never miss what's next. Until next time, stay strong, stay bold, and keep walking towards your purpose.